This is a new feature from TikTok, and I think it is a game changer feature that will be copied by a lot of other platforms. I also think it's going to disrupt a lot of edtech platforms where users go onto the platforms and pay for a course. I think it's going to disrupt these platforms, and I think this feature will be copied by other streaming platforms. And I think for anybody who has expertise in anything that people want to learn or would pay to learn, this presents a ridiculous opportunity. The name of the feature, it's called Series. If you use TikTok, you may have seen it. You may have seen a video where you see on the bottom it says there's a series, it says the title of the series, you click it and then you pay and you get access to this content on TikTok. That's what Series is. And here's why I think this is a ridiculous opportunity. TikTok has the most amazing distribution for any marketing channel. It has the most amazing distribution. If you make a good video, it will get tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands or millions or tens of millions of views. And even the tens of thousands can be lucrative and engaging. So I'll give an example. In February, I was living back in Warsaw in February, and my co-founder for Commit Club, that's one of my startups. My co-founder, we wanted to experiment with the ChatGPT playground, with the GPT playground. GPT was brand new, still brand new, and we wanted to experiment with it. So we made this website. It's called bestreasonswhy.com. It gives you reasonable reasons to do literally anything. You can write anything in it, and and the AI will give you reasons to do that. And it was really crazy because like people would write the nastiest things and the AI would give these people reasons to do those terrible things. We put in no moderation because it made it really funny. And yeah, people wrote in awful things. And so I made 3 videos about bestreasonswhy.com. I made them in rapid succession. The first one, I've told this story before. The first one got like 5,000 views. The third one got 7,000 views. But the second one, the one in the middle, got 67,000 views. And from those 67,000 views on TikTok, we got 3,100 users to bestreasonswhy.com in a single day. That's crazy. That's crazy. And so I think there's this wild opportunity for people who are experts in anything and who can make content to make an engaging piece of content with like a good hook and then say like, and you don't even have to say like watch the series if you want to learn how to do it. You don't even have to put in the call to action because the call to action is right there in TikTok. And so you see it there, learn how to do whatever is going viral in the video. You even can have a video and it starts to go viral and you can make this series after. I think right now it takes 24 hours for a series to be approved, but if you're going viral on TikTok, you go viral for days. So once you see you're going a little bit viral, oh my God, it's huge. I'm getting so hyped. Oh my God, it's huge. You could put together a piece of content in a few hours, sell it for I don't know. If it's something that's just interesting and maybe people would want to learn more. By the way, I haven't tried this yet. I think the upside is huge. I'm still doing research. I want to look at what the restrictions are. I want to learn more. I want to try to talk to people who have done it. I like right now on my TikTok, I use whatever music that I want to use. There's no rules. And I'm not directly monetizing the videos that I make. I'm not like I'm driving them to places where those places could offer something else that's monetized, but I'm not monetizing within TikTok. I'm not doing that. I think having ads on your content with TikTok pays very little money unless you're doing like unless you're doing the over 1 minute videos, which I've talked about before, unless you're doing these over 1 minute videos where you could get like a 88 cents RPM, where you could get paid like 88 cents for every 1,000 views, and you can't use copyrighted music in that. And the videos have to be over a minute long, and then you can get very high amounts of money per 1,000 views. And there are accounts that can like hack this engagement. I've talked about one of them. It's called Interesting Truth. Interesting Truth. That's the name of the account. They changed their name. It was originally called Interesting Trut. Now it's called Interesting Truth. If you want to hear that episode, that's a great episode. Oh my gosh, that is a great episode. Let me pull up the episode number. I sent it to somebody recently. Part 2 of that episode, it's episode 61. I think it's better than part 1, which is episode 60, but both are good if you want to learn about that. I think this TikTok account is making $2.7 million a year. If I remember correctly, like $187,000 a month. That's if they're monetizing in the ways that I think that they could be monetizing. It's very, very cool. Very cool what they are doing. But okay, so you could have making viral TikToks. I mean, I'm doing it now like several times a week. So it's not hard. It takes some practice, but it's not like anybody can learn it. Anybody can learn to do that. So amazing. Oh my God. I taught myself the skill. Literally it started October 15th when I was living in Rome. And I'm like, people keep telling me to try TikTok. And then I met a guy at Soho House in Rome, and he had all these friends who are TikTokers. And he's like, yo, my friends will spend like 5 minutes on a video and it'll go viral. And I'm like, that does seem really easy. I feel like I got to try this. And at the same time, all these podcasters were telling me that I was really entertaining because I was going on podcasts. And so then I'm like, let me try TikTok. And I created TikTok. I'm like, I don't know what to do, but I'm going to just try to make a video each day to learn it. And then I did, and I learned it. And November 1st, I started the new TikTok, which is the one that I have now. It's called Build in Public. And my early videos on that, they were awful. And now I'm getting pretty good at making viral TikToks like consistently. I made one a few days ago. It's up to 250,000 views. It's about the fall of Vice. I went to go visit the Vice offices here in New York, and I made a video about the abandoned Vice offices in Brooklyn, and that one's up to 250 on TikTok, and now it's getting views really fast on Instagram, and it's cool. And so yeah, but the series feature. So like something that you could do is you can sell this. You can make like another video. That one's going viral. Oh, people are interested in this. Okay, let me make something. It's like 25 cents and it's about Vice, or 50 cents and it's about Vice. And here's some other lessons, or here's some things that I noticed around the building, about the abandoned building. And you can do that, or you just sell it really cheap. But the views are so high that like the interest is so high, because for a piece of content to do well on TikTok, it needs to be good and it needs to be engaging. And if you have people's engagement, you can sell them there. So I think it's a game changer, but especially if you are an expert, or you can just teach. Oh my God, you can literally like find something that people want to learn now. Maybe it's something about AI, and then make a viral video. And then in the viral video, you link to a series, and it's about the specific thing in AI that teaches people about how to do this thing in AI that people want to learn how to do. And yeah, I think it's just presents such an enormous opportunity to creators who teach people stuff, who have something useful to tell other people. There's a lot of people who listen to my podcast who are experts in something, and who others would pay to learn from. There are a lot of people who listen to this podcast where other people would pay to learn from these people. And if you can learn to make a good video on TikTok, then you can make a series. I am at a point where my content flow is so optimized. I can turn out a good TikTok in an hour, maybe less, maybe 30 minutes. Before, I was making them a lot faster, but they weren't as good. And now I spend a little bit longer, maybe even 45 minutes. I think I made the one yesterday in 45 minutes, and it had a bunch of shots in it, but overall it took me like 45 minutes to do. And you can do a series really quickly as well. Really, really quickly. I'll tell you my secret. My secret is this tool called Descript, which uses AI to, first of all, it just makes the audio sound good. I run this podcast through Descript, but it also removes any word gap over whatever amount of time you specify. So for this podcast seems like it flows really well. Actually, I have 20-minute breaks in between like me talking, because I'm researching something, or I'm figuring out what I'm going to say, or like I need to take a short break or something. And there will be breaks. Maybe it's a minute. Maybe like there's just little pauses of like a second here and a second there. I don't want those pauses. I want everything to flow really freely. So I use this tool called Descript. I set it to remove, the way that it works is you say any gap that is over X amount of seconds, reduce that gap to this amount of seconds. So the way that I do it for this podcast is any gap that is over 1/4 of a second, make that gap 1/4 of a second. So if you had a gap that was half of a second, then it would become 1/4 of a second. If you had a gap that was a minute, that also would become 1/4 of a second. When I make my TikToks, I have it so that any gap that is over 1/10 of a second, just reduce that, make it to 0. I don't want any gaps in between speaking on TikTok. TikTok needs to flow really fast. People have very short attention spans on TikTok, so I just make it so there are no gaps. And it's really easy. And I can do that automatically with Descript. It happens all at once. It's amazing. And so basically, you could have a video that's going viral. You can just record your expertise using your phone or a screen recording, run it through Descript, read Descript it's called Descript because it transcribes everything. Read the transcript, take out whatever you want to be taken out, reduce the gaps between words so it's engaging and it flows well. So you can take out the bad takes by reading the transcript, and you can just edit the transcript to put in more of a narrative if you want, or if you said something that you shouldn't have said, you can remove that, or you could record right back into the script. And then you click this one button. It makes it sound really pro. It makes it sound really nice. Like you'd be shocked at how different the raw version of this podcast sounds from what you're listening to right now. You'd be shocked. And you do all those stuff. You remove the gaps, and it's done really fast. You export it, and there you go, done. You can put in transcriptions in Descript if you want to, or you can use TikTok to put in transcriptions, and that's it. That is it. And then you can upload that series and sell it on a video that's going viral, that's getting hundreds of thousands or millions of views. And come on, like that's going to be crazy. I'm really excited to try this. I want to research more. Like I don't like scrutiny into anything that I'm doing, which is surprising because I have a podcast where I share everything that I'm doing. But the way that I look at it is like getting popularity on a podcast and creating a relationship with people through giving value on a daily podcast. I think that's like something that is very, very valuable. So I will take the scrutiny that comes along with that. I mean, if you are making content every day like I am doing, you have to know that people are going to become interested in you and try to research you and figure out who you are, things that you've done. And that is, I guess, something that I'm willing to put up with for how long, I don't know. Tim Ferriss, when he started to get big, he had bought a house in his name, and then he got this stalker who showed up every day to his house, and he had to sell the house and then buy it through a shell company. So it could get pretty crazy, especially if I get as big as I think I can get. And I think I can get pretty big. You guys are amazing. Like everyone who's listening right now, like I am getting such amazing words and comments. I love it when you like comment. Just the comments, they make me feel so good. They really like hype me up and motivate me so much. Every day I get messages from people who are like, I love your content. I'm going to share it with these people. A friend of mine, he is involved in an accelerator, and now he's sending out. So my newsletter, edwardsturm.com/newsletter. It's a growth hacking newsletter that I send out every week. My friend, he is helping to run an accelerator in London, and he says, dude, your newsletter is amazing. Like, do you have these archived anywhere? And I do, actually. If you want to check them out, my newsletter archive is just edwardsturm.com/articles. You can read the archive of my newsletter there. And he's taking that now and sending that out to everyone in the cohort of the current accelerator, because he's like, these are so valuable. And so like messages like that, they make me so excited. So anyway, I think this is a good episode because I'm feeling pretty excited recording it. Yeah, series. I reached out to a few creators I know to find out more information about it. I could literally join it right now, but I want to learn more. But as I talk about it, I just realize that the upside is really, really, really huge. You can capture someone's engagement. You can capture people's engagement pretty easily on TikTok. I know that sounds like a hubristic thing to say, but like it's really not that hard. It just takes practice. You can get there, and then you can just keep on like making a video that interests people and making different videos that will teach people useful things, and people will pay for those. I mean, industries are built on e-learning. Like, and I think the series functionality on TikTok is going to disrupt the top, or if TikTok does it properly, it will disrupt the top e-learning platforms. That's what I'll say. And then I think other streaming platforms will copy it, and yeah, so it'll disrupt these platforms. It's huge. It is just really huge. I'm really excited. If anybody who listens has tried the series feature on TikTok, let me know how it went. And this is episode 96 of The Edward Show, episode 96 of my daily growth hacking Edward Sturm story podcast, where I talk about go-to-market, growth hacks, marketing stuff, and just random stories in my life. I think I've lived somewhat of an interesting life. I'm happy with the things that I've done in my life, so I'm happy that I get to share those. Episode 96. Thank you all so much for listening. I will talk to all of you again tomorrow. It's a sunny afternoon here in New York City, and I hope I hope it'll be that way on the next podcast. Talk to y'all soon. Bye now.